And then when he comes in and it's bad audio, just mute his audio and text him. I'm serious.
Oh, I'm muted. This is going on so well. This is starting out perfect, everybody. Geez. Well, welcome everyone. We've been having some technical difficulties, and we kind of want to rip our hair out of our head, but it's okay. We got Taylor joining us soon. He's just a little late to the party, but I'm with my main man Jesse. I am DMAT. And this is The Wise Men. We are also collabing with Remnant Warriors podcast as well. We are a big family with Punk Farm Media. If you don't know who they are, go ahead, follow them on all socials. We appreciate that. You also see some of our episodes on there as well, along with Remnant Warriors podcast. But let's just dive right into it. This is an underground episode. We are unfortunate to not have Louis today, but we're gonna get into World War III. It's probably the biggest headline that's going across the printing press this week, and it's because there's been some attacks taking place on Palestine, right? I mean, I don't know what to call it. I don't know exactly. I don't know exactly. I think it was Damascus. So there was missiles that were fired on Damascus, right, from Israel, and now Iran has responded and retaliated with drone strikes, cruise missiles, all these other kind of horrific events. And now Israel is saying that they're going to retaliate. What are your guys' thoughts? What is the next move?
It's a distraction. Don't pay attention.
Right? It's all just hype for nothing, right?
Pretty much.
I think something will happen from it. I think we're in World War III now, but it's just a slow burn until the big stuff happens.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be like a slow process into it, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just to get everyone to maybe just kind of be all right with it, but or it could be super quick. What if Israel attacks again, and then holy crap, Iran has nuclear missiles. We thought they didn't. I mean, maybe they do, maybe they don't. But nukes are always a huge topic. That's if you believe in nukes.
Yeah, that's right. Joe Rogan had that guy on talking about that. Yeah, he's like, all these videos of the testings are fake.
Right. And I mean, it looks kind of real. Yeah, I mean, real. What do I know what real is? What do I know? Right. I don't know. I've heard both sides. I've heard both sides of the spectrum there with that.
So that guy, they pulled up a video. One of the videos was the same scene, but the car changed, it changed model, make and model or something like that. So it was exploding, and you're like, wait, it was one of those cut scenes in a movie where there wasn't a Coca-Cola there, and it's it's based in 1700, and then there's a Coca-Cola in the background or something.
Right. It's just weird, enough to get people with their tinfoil hats to put on another tinfoil hat. That's for sure.
Yeah, I have multiple tinfoil hats on right now. You just can't see them. They're little miniature under my hat.
But yeah, man, I don't know. I mean, if Israel does come back with it, you had Biden last week also talking about that, he's supporting his defenses, with Israel and all this kind of, alliance talk going on. I think that maybe one day, Damascus may take the biggest hit out of all of it. And I think that's just because of my biblical view. There's some prophecies about Damascus, taking some sort of weird damage. But yeah, hold on 1 second.
1 second. 2 seconds.
Right.
What's up, Taylor? Hey, what's up, man? How you been, dude?
Yeah, I've been alright, man. Yeah, my kid's in the background too, so. But yeah, it's been a good minute since we've done a podcast, man. So as we've seen the progression of all this, stuff taking place, I'm just like, wow, this is a whole bunch of podcast material going on. like we see, the whole Iran and Israel deal. We see, people making war moves that is actually like, whoa, that could be some major detrimental stuff to the, actual whole world. Whatever moves they make is going to affect everybody. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
There really
100%.
is, like, it seems like, I don't really know when this took place. Maybe I just wasn't into this stuff like I am nowadays, but I feel like things are just like domino effect in a way to where, like, it's just like every week there's something that's
yeah,
developing or happening, or even just like daily at this point. If you're on your phone, if you're looking at news media, forums and stuff, there's something that's just popping out all the time. I do take a step back to try and like evaluate the psychological warfare, because I do think like that's just a lot of what is going on. I think that's why a lot of it is being pushed out, and it's not just media platforms now that are pushing out like propaganda, but it's also, our apps on our phone. It's TikTok, YouTube, you got all these, I mean, including us as well, right? Like the algorithm is going to take this video or maybe some clips that we talk about, and it's going to push it out into someone else's algorithm, and it's going to maybe strengthen someone's opinion or maybe change someone's opinion, right?
right.
And I think that's why maybe my views on like World War III is, it'll be a global event, right? There'll be wars and rumors of wars, but I think that I think civil war is what may be a big part of World War III.
Yeah,
I agree.
And you gotta 100%. Remember the red heifer cow is gonna be sacrificed too. I believe they're doing it this 20th. That's just what I hear going around. And then we also have, since the eclipse, I know. And then since the eclipse, a lot of stuff has been getting a lot worse too. Like people have been saying, even non-believers, like we're saying, oh, it's gonna get dramatically worse and worse and worse. But we've seen crime skyrocket. What was that pastor who just got like knifed up?
That was one of the topics I did want to bring up, but since you did mention it, let's just kind of like we'll transition into that. But the pastor in Australia, he's a super famous guy, especially on TikTok. He's got a YouTube platform as well, but ever since he kind of got trendy when Australia was really coming down with their lockdowns and their COVID restrictions and all this kind of stuff, he was someone going through all of that personally, and he was also running a church and a life, trying to go through those things. And a lot of the viral clips he would send out, is just what we were all talking about and what a lot of people at home, were like feeling. There's like, man, like, and it takes it literally does just take one person to stand up and say something to kind of rally the troops, because then another person stands and another and another and another, right? It's so similar to like that scene in Bug's Life when like the two grasshoppers are at the bar and they're laughing and they're like, oh, these puny little ants, whatever, and then the main the Don of the freaking group comes over and he's like, oh, this seed is like one ant, and he throws one seed and it hits him in the chest, and then he's like, huh, that was nothing, and then he's like, yeah, you, same thing to you, and he hits the other guy with one and he's like, huh, I didn't feel nothing, Joe, and then he's like, and then he rips the thing off the wall, and then like thousands just pile on top of him and they're dead. And he stands up on the pile and he's like, if you let one stand up, they're all gonna stand up. It was wild, man.
It's a great scene. That's a great scene. It
great
really
scene,
is.
dude.
The subliminals and pre-programming, it's just outstanding.
Golly,
and that's
for real.
What they don't want us people doing, because they want. Here's what's going on right now. They're trying to hype up crime, hype up violence. Let a whole bunch of illegal stuff happen. Unconstitutional stuff happen, mind you, and they've been doing that since the whole jibby jab out there. So what they're going to do is their whole thing is order out of chaos, and of course they're trying to push that right now. It's going to get so bad that we need one of their saviors that's been pre-picked, to lead the masses. Which is clearly going to be, one of the antichrists, and the beast and all these New World Order agenda. But the thing is, just like you were saying earlier, on all social medias, they're just pumping out the propaganda like crazy. Are you Israel? Are you Iran? Are you this? Are you that? They want people fighting against each other to try to, you know, get rid of the people as much as possible, so they don't have to do the dirty work.
Yeah, no, for sure,
you know,
for sure.
and just pollute the mindset of our youth, especially in TikTok. There's good and bad. Trust me, it's definitely a tool of the elites that they're trying to
Mhm.
use right now, and obviously war makes money for people. So yeah.
Oh,
For
absolutely.
sure. Big facts.
Mhm.
Like the documentary that I brought up a while ago, everything's a rich man's trick.
Yeah,
It's the truth, the big industrialists, all these big corporate companies, money and power, it rules the world,
absolutely.
you
Yeah,
know.
it's so deep, isn't it?
It's so deep. And you know what? You good point on that, like the crime rate. I've been talking for a while about just, being kind of, I live in Las Vegas, so
Hmm.
there's crazy people just, on the corner over here right
Yeah,
now. I just drove by them. So,
yeah. Well,
but it's just like I've noticed, an intake of crime in the city and really
mhm.
everywhere, all over the news. Don't know if that's done on purpose. I mean, obviously, um, we have more exposure because of the multimedia and the internet now, social
Right.
media, everything gets around faster. But yeah,
Facts.
I feel like there's definitely a big uptick in
Big
just
time.
senseless crime, and
Well,
then you have the judicial system just letting people out of jail. They're like, you
yeah,
know what?
the
This
next day.
guy, this blue collar guy, he hasn't paid his taxes in 10 years. Put him in jail for a few
Right.
years. But this guy just stabbed somebody on the beach. Let's let him out the next day on bail.
That's what
Let's
I'm
just,
saying. And then he
Yeah.
stabs another person the next day. I'm like, bro,
yeah,
like
Well,
it's
dude,
these
obvious.
if
judges.
you think about it, if you got all right, so let's get super dystopian here, right? Since we're talking about like the justice system, right? The justice system is pretty moral, it's pretty ethical right now, if you ask me, right? But if we keep society and culture going at a rate and on the path
Society.
that it's taking right now, it's probably going to be an ethical court system, but it's definitely going to be opposite of moral court system. And I guess like what I'm saying by that is like ethically, yeah, it has to be justified to a certain point, but that's all based off of like what you make those things mean. It's like
Right.
it's like us people with words. We give the words the meaning. You know what I'm saying? So if
Yeah.
they change
Lawyer mumbo jumbo.
right. So if they change the ethics, 100 years from now, right, just because of a just conditioning over time or whatever, and let's just say like it's an idiocracy type dystopian world, and you've got, it's just very one regime type deal, which is kind of like how we feel culturally right now. If you are on the right side of the spectrum, at least you feel like there's, you don't feel it, like there is people getting canceled, there is censorship, there is all this stuff, right? So like think of it like of a court justice side of things. But imagine it gets so bad, bro, to where it's like that one scene from Batman Dark Knight Rises, right? This is the one with Bane, right, and Catwoman. And the one guy that was involved helping Bane or whatever, he at the end of the movie, he's getting dragged to Scarecrow, who is the guy who is the judge, who is like either going exile or death. And those are the two options, bro.
Yeah.
You kind of see where I'm getting at with this. So
People
my
can't-
ribs click
people
once in a
can't-
while.
Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Should give a backstory.
Okay.
Steven tried to do jujitsu with me. He came into my guard, and I tried to slide my knee up,
And it just flicked the ribs a
I
little.
didn't. It just
caught it.
popped
Caught it
the
that one way,
cartilage
yeah.
a smidgen of a
Because
pigeon.
one
He's
thing
fine.
too, like my weight was on top of your guard, and I'm flexing, obviously, like I'm not relaxed, right? So I'm just like flex normal tense, and then you slid that knee up, and the ribs are very flexible, like even when you are like when your muscles are flexed around the bone, like they're still flexible. So
very flexible.
It popped. Give me a little pop, dude. It's my first pop.
It's a cartilage. Dude. Yeah, your ribs aren't used to flexing that much. Is all.
Yeah.
You know,
So,
you guys ever done the experiment in school where you put the hard piece of rib in like vinegar or whatever,
Yeah.
and it like becomes rubber?
Yeah.
No way.
Remember that?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow.
That
Pretty
just
cool.
teaches
Yeah.
you your ribs are very flexible. So
Yeah, but yeah, I know we were just talking about whatever that
Get
justice
off on the
system.
rib.
We're always like so
system.
negative towards society. Everyone, I'm sorry, but listen, we're
Hey,
trying to
listen, man,
listen, man.
We're in a very, very tough
Weird.
time right now. A very weird time. It's a lot of hardship going on all at once, lots of different things. And just, just like you said, like it all relates to the Bible, and in end times it talks about, which I think we're in end times. It talks about it's very hard to discern the reality around you. There's so much going on. You're going to get kind of twisted and turned, and if you don't pay attention, you're going to lose track of it, and then you're going to become bitter towards everybody because you're like sick and tired of hearing of all the destruction, and then you're not in the loop anymore, and it gets confusing for some people.
Yeah, I find myself getting that way sometimes too. I'm just like, okay, let it come. Like,
yeah.
It's almost what's that term?
Now,
Black pilled. Like you just know so much.
I'm at that point. I'm not even gonna lie, bro.
Yeah, you're just a piece of tar on the ground in the hot sun. Just
I know.
When is it over already?
I refuse to be black pilled. I'm like the kind of person that's like, let's go, keep it coming. Let's see what's next. Let's keep it going. I'm not going to believe everything I see, but I'm also not going to put myself in an echo chamber. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, we've definitely been kind of conditioned over
That's why it's the wise men. I'm going to hear out your perspective, and I might have some questions. Why is it like this? Why is it like that? But I'm not going to just dive right into anything. You know what I mean? Like, you got to keep your head on a swivel, folks.
Yeah. Situational awareness is key. Yeah, because especially nowadays, there's going to be a lot of psyop, a lot of false flags, but also a lot of real things that's happening. There's going to be attacks. I believe, there's a couple of police departments in Texas that he already said, like, we've already stopped multiple cyber attacks, and we know it's not if, it's a when they're going to attack, like, on our soil. It's going to be like 9/11 times 20. So if he's telling us that already, and I'm already geared up for like whatever may happen is going to be huge. So you just got to have a spiritual mindset and a physical preparedness.
There is a big talk about this Black Swan event.
Yeah, I've heard that.
So
much of that.
Super. I mean, it's across all platforms. I hear people talking about it all the time. And people give their certain opinions, or they're tracking this and they're like, watch out for that. It's kind of. I don't, but that's the whole point of a Black Swan.
Yeah.
You have no idea. It's literally no one had no idea.
We talked about this already. I think the Black Swan event that people were really talking about it a lot back when crypto was blowing up, right? That's when everybody started, well, be careful of the Black Swan event because the market might crash because of an event. And maybe someone got some insight, but guess what? Then the Baltimore bridge collapsed from the thing happening. The boat just hit the bridge, and the bridge fell down, and it went out of power. The black box has been working for years, and it just stopped working, and now nobody knows why.
They lost 2 minutes or prior to the impact.
I think that was the Black Swan. Yes.
The bridge is blown, like it's being
demolished. Yes.
Yeah,
I said the same thing. So I gave it a couple days.
Someone slowed it down.
Dude, I watched actually Andrew Tate talk about it, and I'm like, this is the first time I watched the video. I'm like, I didn't even pay it no mind. I was just like, I don't know why. I just like, yeah, this is obviously done on purpose for whatever reason. I don't care what anybody says. I don't even have to look at it. So I looked at it and I looked at it and I'm like, oh my God, it's a demolition. Both sides of the bridge fall equally at the same exact time, like right when the boat touches it. Come on.
They did it in 9/11 too. Yeah.
Same thing. Demolition. Same thing.
Yeah, same thing. You didn't slow it down, and you'll literally see it go outward, just blowing up. I'm like multiple too. It's not just one. Yeah.
And it's so funny to me because there's documentaries in like the 90s of how the
implode versus explode.
It's a documentary on how they built the Twin Towers, and all these engineers talking about how they built, and it's such an amazing feat that they did, and how it's supposed to withstand so much, and it's designed for planes to hit it, and then everybody's still like, "Oh, who cares? We think you fell down."
It's been hit before, but it's never imploded on itself like that. A building cannot implode on itself. Unless it's being blown up like by demolition. Have you ever watched demolitions of buildings happen?
Oh,
that's what happens. You know, if a plane hit it, it's not going to look like self imploding on itself. That just makes no sense. You know what I'm saying?
It's just probably going to light on fire and smoke and sit there and just smoke.
It's been hit before by I don't know what plane it was, but it's been hit before and it survived. Like it was minimal damage.
I know there was.
I think it was a single engine plane or something.
I know there was.
That could have been the Empire State Building. I don't know. One of them. I don't know.
Yeah, there was a bomb in the basement of the trade centers in the '90s that Biggie Smalls had in his album. He was talking about too. I don't know why I bring him up. I don't know. I have no idea why I brought that up. But the P Diddy
right.
No,
oh gosh. Oh my gosh.
No Diddy, bro.
Oh, that's funny.
No, but there was a bomb that hit one in the basement of the Trade Center, right?
Yeah.
A van drove down there.
Yeah, that was in the '90s, though, I think.
Yeah.
And they had to set those bombs pre doing all that stuff. So you had to imagine they must have been planning that for ages, doing all that. Like they might have had that since the '90s and just used it now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You never know because
Operation Northwoods is pretty much what happened during 9/11. So that's when Operation Northwoods was disclosed. God knows when. I don't even know when that was Operation Northwoods.
I mean, it honestly feels like it was a few years ago. To be honest with you, but it was. I mean, through Freedom of Information Acts and all this kind of stuff, that information really just gets out to the public, but it really only goes to one person, and then whatever they do with that information, then that's how that kind of gets out. It's not like that they're gonna but when that information did get out, then Wikipedia was like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, we'll put something out for it, things like that. That's how it works.
Control the masses via media.
Yep.
And that's what we're doing right now.
Let's get into
big time.
Let's get into the music industry. Let's transition in. Yeah, I know. I do want to kind of talk a little bit about this P Diddy.
I just did what they do to all of us. Is I set a little seed. I planted a little seed.
You're making us talk about it.
I planted a little seed.
Let me draw the seed sprouting next to my notes where it says P Diddy, and then the water is Jesse.
Sprinkle it with wisdom, Jesse.
I mean, okay, let's just
cut the chase.
There's so much, man. There's so much on P Diddy, and it's tied to. There's so much to talk about that I don't have.
I know,
specific notes on. P Diddy's his whole thing with Jennifer Lopez when they were dating. She blew up after the whole nightclub thing happened with them. There was a shooting in the nightclub, and P Diddy was a part of it or somehow, and then J-Lo blew up after that. So that's linked to that. There's a whole conspiracy behind a lot of this.
I tell you what,
it's a whole deep hole. With this,
I think it might. Yeah, it might go as deep to deep.
Lucifer.
But listen, come on, man. I think that there's something in common here. I think there's something in common with these famous, influential game changers in the industries that are given fame and platforms, and I think that
all of them.
Oh,
it's getting so obvious now too.
No, it was talk of the Illuminati. The Illuminati was a term back in the 1800s. I get that, but really it was, and I don't know when it was talked about in the past, but I know that in my generation, it wasn't really discussed. It was a conspiracy. It still is conspiracy, but that just means that they're all in a club together. Okay, it just means it's not that it's a theory. These people are a part of a club, and there's things that commonly take place, and the thing that I find is that there's sexual things going on. I don't know if there's sexual rituals. I don't know if this, I don't know if it's a sexual spirit that's going on. I don't know what, dude, but it is so common in the elite industry, either with it, if it's children or if it's you know, within each other,
blackmail.
If they're blackmailing.
Blackmail. Yeah,
I think so too.
It's mostly used for blackmail, of course. It's the easiest way to, because everybody, they film it. Yeah. Everybody's we're all the same. We're all flesh and blood. We're all sinners, right? So we're, you know.
I'm thinking though, what are they getting out of it, right? So if they're doing something like that, I get their blackmailing and stuff, but like, what if also that, you know, like the P Diddy allegations, right? Like him and his experiences that he has with others and people that are coming out about it, you know, like, and then they all of a sudden get fame and fortune and he gives them that, right? So it's like, it's a ritual, dude. In the spiritual form of it, it's a ritual because he's giving people this power and fame, whatever it is you want to call it, but you're sacrificing yourself to him. I swear.
Pretty much.
I mean, you got to look at it like that too.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is with a lot of these people, obviously the world's run by satanic pedophiles. It's pretty clear. You know,
it is.
It seems like it might be.
There's Epstein Island times. Yeah, it's Epstein Island times a million, man. Like, there's many of them going on, like millions of these islands all over, but people have no idea. They're just
Virgin Islands. It's all on the Virgin Islands. Yeah.
Dude, a lot of places, man. This happens on a mass scale. You just don't hear about it because it's not in the mainstream news and yada yada yada. But if you follow the trails and follow where it all goes down to one source. There is fallen angels working with government, which obviously they do. Government is into Satanism and, you know, Freemasonry and all the little subcultures they have. Even Freemasonry, you look at it and all the rituals, like there is no women. The women and men are separate there, but they do sex rituals, which is why they have their apron. Their private parts are considered the holy area parts. That's why they wear the aprons. But they're doing, you know, homosexual rituals amongst themselves. That's why there's a lot of the parts, no women allowed in there. It's because they're doing a lot of perverted, nasty stuff as well amongst themselves. And it's a lot of the times it's older men too. So it's just like,
it is, dude, the skull and bones thing. So this goes into such a deep dark hole. It goes into the military too, and it has a lot to do with taking the Nazis. Taking the Nazis from Germany and bringing over their rituals and their culture. Yeah,
which
go ahead.
Here, mind you. Yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah. So, yeah. So there's a thing called cherries, and that's like it's a skull and bones thing, and it's not mainstream. It probably will be pretty soon, but there's a thing in the military between the Navy and the Marines. And the Navy men are like these in the skull and bones. It's kind of one and the same with Navy and the Marines. And it's crazy. There's a lady that did a tell-all because she was a husband of a colonel, or she was the wife of a colonel. And she did a whole tell-all and talked very in-depth. There's a couple poorly done interviews in the 90s that's on YouTube, I believe, still. But she talks about how these weird rituals they do in like caskets. So they call them cherries because they take them and they put them, the Marines on the bottom and the Navy's on the top, and they do it in a casket. And it's really disturbing. It's really weird. And it's just, dude, it's a really weird deal, but it all ties in to the occultism and the rituals that they would do, the Nazis would do, and the Germans would do. The Germans, like pagan, whatever it is. That culture came here with paperclip, and they started doing it here.
They're gonna, and believe it or not, they have a lot of these Nazi scientists, and a lot of these Nazis are just here in America today. That's why you see the so-called racism and stuff. Yeah,
Fauci.
I'm pretty sure
he claims he's a Jew. No. Man, he is a Nazi if I ever seen one. He's a Nazi if I ever seen one. I don't care. He's a Nazi if I ever seen one.
And Klaus, dog, like homie's just like straight up Nazi, like wearing like some Star Trek looking outfit, and like he will eat the bugs and he will like it.
Yes. Yes.
Bro, like,
Dude,
how
there's
can
some
we not
weird.
listen to Hitler?
That's what it, what it all boils down to is it's these nepotism. It's
Yep,
these families that have passed down this culture from
yep,
generation to generation, and they try to carry it and spread it. And it's
yep.
a secret that they spread their culture all into American society
Yeah,
with all this weird
and they're
stuff
gonna get
that we.
exposed for that.
Oh, they already
Exposed
are.
for
They
being
already are.
Nazis.
They are.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
for
gonna get
sure they already
exposed for
are.
being Nazis soon.
I mean, I got a book right here. The real Anthony Fauci hardcover copy, baby. Let's
Yeah,
go.
let's
Um,
go.
so that that's
That's got to
written
be a good
by
one. That's RFK.
yeah. I've heard. I haven't read the whole thing, but
Pretty
yeah.
sure,
So
right?
that's RFK, and he talks all about how Fauci used an AIDS drug that he knew was killing people. He
Yep.
was giving them AIDS and killing them, and he just kept doing it for gains, for capital gains. And I mean, is it just capital gains, or is he just killing everybody?
It's just like, freaking all these other elite people who, like, what was it, Bill Gates, he went out to Africa and tried to administer all sorts of stuff to people and gave them AIDS and HIV and all that. You notice where they start with eugenics and it's all one thing, world population control, but there's no such thing as population control because the earth can fill everybody just fine. It's just people want to be
Sacrifice.
in certain cities. Yeah, it's sacrifice, modern
Makes
day
sense.
sacrifice.
It does
Yeah,
make sense because it's like no matter, I mean, if they wanted to, they could just kill us off in a year's time and just kill everybody
bro,
if they really wanted to.
they could kill us overnight. But
I
the
mean,
thing
right.
is,
But it's
yeah, the thing
sacrifice. It's like a slow
right.
cook, right?
What did I
Yeah,
jump
it's
into here?
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, that's
What is it? What is it
so
called?
Bill Gates.
Eugenics.
So, yes,
Yeah.
eugenics. So Bill Gates went to Africa and he did the oral malaria vaccine, and it's an oral vaccine that he gave, and he killed like 16,000 children. I think more than that, but I just want to be.
Yeah,
I'm gonna undercut
I don't
that.
know
Pretty
how.
sure it's
but-
under millions.
I really don't know though
Yeah,
how
probably more
clear.
like
I mean, it
millions.
came from the guy's mouth himself. And Bill Gates is on a TED Talk and he's discussing. He's talking to all these people about population growth, where we're at, and what we can do to restrict it in certain ways. And he said healthcare, Planned Parenthood, and vaccines. And I remember I saw that and I'm like, okay, is there any way to interpret this in another way? And I really don't think that there is. I mean, when we see things now, when we kind of see things in the past, like what you're talking about, that book back there that you're talking about, what is it? The Real Anthony Fauci? I bet it's got a bunch of stories in there that are, medical conspiracies,
it's a lot of legal jargon that is basically his RFK's receipts on this is what this guy did, and these are my receipts showing the proof.
Yeah.
And
well, like the
facts are
conspiracy
facts.
to me literally is when they say that they were giving these medications to treat malaria to kids in Africa, and what, a lot of them got sick, right?
They died.
They died. Okay, they died. Okay.
They died. They got sick. They died. They were not only that, they were I almost said euthanized. Sure. They were castrated, men and female. And then when you look at the new vaccine,
what?
he did this.
Castrated, right?
Chemically castrated. He did the same thing with Pfizer and Moderna. He did the same thing here that he did with the AIDS.
Yeah.
It's all a blueprint. It was all put in front of us. It was all told to us. And what does everybody do?
Jeez.
I want to go watch my TV show. I want to go watch my. You know what? I like the new Fallout. I liked it. Let me go lay down at night and not pay attention to this. I'm gonna. And it's it's not all your fault. You were born into this time.
Well, it's what helps you go to sleep at night.
People need to call these people out. Yeah, because we're in a time where I believe sin in general is going to get judged and brought out immediately. There's going to come a time on this earth before these evil people leave this earth, that they will get exposed for their dirtiness, man. And God's not playing, man. I already know. And, I have my own relationship with God, but he tells me certain things too. But these people are going to get exposed on a mass level, man. It's going to be insane. Yeah,
They already are. And you know what scares me about all this? Okay, look at what happened before COVID during Trump's presidency. The whole Q movement came out and kind of spilt the beans on all the pedophilia to the mainstream, right? And then what happened? COVID hit. And then we went all into lockdown and it got swept under the rug. Well, now it's coming full circle. It's coming back around and stuff is starting to get exposed through the legal system too. And we all know the legal system takes forever to bring stuff up and actually make physical changes. And it scares you because it's like, what's going to happen next?
Yeah, they're going to claim that's not me. It's AI that did that. Like, that's what I'm worried about. I'm like, bro, oh my gosh, bro, we're going to have a whole thing like, no, that's not me in the video. It's just AI. Like, they can now write off their garbage, you know what I'm saying? Like,
or a real black swan event happens and we go into martial law, just similar to COVID, but 16 times as bad.
No, it's gonna be like that. We are gonna have that. I believe it's gonna be soon here. And they have done the slow burn with this whole World War III thing. We've been in World War III for like half a freaking year now, but it's just not affecting the whole world as fast as one would think, because it's not just, rifles and going out in the trenches no more. It's subliminal psychological warfare, all sorts.
It's so much deeper than people realize.
Chemical warfare, all sorts of stuff going on. And with the jibby jab too. Like, I just had a friend, literally, like, his wife took it and is now a freaking vegetable because of it. But now they can't sue or do anything because they have, what's it called? Help me out here. Immunity. Yeah. So it's just, how long is we as a people, how long are we going to put up with it until we actually do something about it?
We're speaking up. I mean, there's a lot of people right now that are starting to come to light, that are speaking up more. Let's hope it keeps on that track. It seems that there's so many it seems like there's a lot of infiltrators that claim to be on our side, but they're really not, and they can divert the attention.
Yeah, and there's paid opposition and paid people who are on our wavelength here of what we're talking about, and I see them all the time. Like, and I know a lot of them too. Like, I don't trust anybody. They put a lot of truths out there, just like Alex Jones, Joe Rogan, Andrew Tate. They all say stuff that sounds pretty and nice, but at the end of the day, I think they're all part of the cabal anyway. They're just made to look like, put some truth out there and mix it with lies. You know what I'm saying? But that's just what I think. I don't know.
I mean, I'm not gonna say you're wrong. I'm not. Yeah. This is the wise men, baby. This is why we ask questions.
Yes,
we ask questions here. What are we doing? I'm not gonna disagree with you. I love Joe Rogan. I've listened to him for years, but I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that he's the truth. Like, he's what he says he is. I don't know him. I don't know his true intentions. I've listened to him for years, and I can tell you that I think he's a good person. I think he's got his head on straight. What he did. The only reason why I really think that is because, I mean, there's a lot of reasons, but what he did during COVID when he called out, like, oh, I took ivermectin and I was cool. And then CNN tried to, a lot of that stuff was like crunch time for him, because he could have ruined he didn't know what was going to happen. Like, Spotify could have dropped him. Everybody could have dropped him. And you know what? Everybody knows at the end of the day, Joe could go make his JoeRogan.com or whatever, whatever. He can do an Alex Jones type of deal and just go, and everybody would go to it. So, and that begs the question, like you said, is he controlled opposition because he has so much power, or did he create that himself? I don't know.
Yeah,
my take on this.
Maybe it's just like when you get to a certain point, like you just get visited. I don't know. It could be possible.
Let me speak on this.
I mean, if the Men in Black are coming to people's houses, maybe it's the Men in Black, bro. Maybe they just cover her so much.
Or maybe the Hat Man visits you.
Hey,
the Slender Man is at your door. Oh gosh.
Listen to this. This is this is so crazy, dude. So Roseanne Barr just had on Jim Brewer, all right, and. There's this clip that went around pretty quickly, so I watched the podcast, and basically what happened was Jim Brewer, he did Half Baked with Dave Chappelle, And Jim Breuer and Roseanne Barr started to get into that whole Comedy Central era of Dave Chappelle and him going to Africa and why he did all that, why he left. And Jim Breuer was like, hey, he came up to me at a comedy festival and was like, hey, so-and-so came and visited me and was like, hey, do you want some of your own coffee in your own house? And Jim Breuer knows who he's talking about. And Jim Breuer said, oh my goodness, like, so Jim Breuer knows who visited Dave Chappelle. And
I did see something like this kind of.
Did not disclose who visited him, but he's like, then Jim Breuer said, then he went to Africa after he was visited. And then those years later, he came back and Jim Breuer said, word for word, I still to this day question if that's Dave Chappelle.
Yo.
Roseanne Barr said the same thing. She goes, yeah, I think the same thing.
They do clone a lot of these people, man. I'm telling you. Sometimes they even okay. Here's what sounds crazy.
It sounds crazy, bro. It sounds crazy, bro.
They take people and clone people. They can also put someone's consciousness into another clone, and bro, they can do all sorts of weird stuff. Like it goes on to a witchcraft level, like you would not know. They have what's called in voodoo, like I forget the actual word for it, but someone could be. It's like called the dead walking, like where they can be walking, like they can have another person's like soul / spirit and consciousness in someone's body, while yours is truly somewhere else getting tortured.
Like,
bro, this is the movie. This is the movie, by the way. Get Out. Yeah, this is the movie. Get Out.
They tell you in movies what happens all the time in real life. That's what they do.
The mom, the mom in that movie is a witch. She's the witch. She's the most important person in that cult that they got. And it was passed down from the grandfather, dude. You remember that? It was passed down from the grandfather, dude.
Yep.
See how it's like, and there are things that are traced back through families. I mean, we could even see the bloodlines today. I'm not claiming that there certain ones are in a cult or what.
Demons with certain stuff.
Yeah.
So Get Out. What's their next movie after that? They talk about tunnels. They talk about how there's tunnels everywhere.
Which movie was that? Which one was that?
The second movie that Jordan Peele did. After Get Out, Jordan Peele did a movie called They Are Us or Us. I think it's called Us.
Oh, yeah.
And it's where there's clones.
They look the same,
There's clones. There's clones of everybody in the tunnels, bro.
What do you think?
They got everybody's dinner, dog. They got everybody's DNA.
Damn.
They do.
They got mine from COVID, dude. They swiped mine, bro, out my nose, dude. They got me.
Yeah.
They got me from birth, though, I'm pretty sure.
If I ever see me, I'm gonna be so outmatched. My other self, I'm gonna take that guy out real quick. He's gonna be done.
Right.
He doesn't like me. Your whole life as a clone, you know that I'm up here, and then you're gonna come try to take me. That's the Second Amendment, baby boy. What are we doing over here? What are we doing over here? You better have a laser gun, dog.
You better have a laser gun, dude. I don't know what it is. I think it's the sunglasses, bro. Every show you need to wear the glasses. 100%
in my mouth.
He's like, let's go.
That's funny. This guy's.
I'm just thinking of
Jesse or Jesse's clone.
Yeah.
Round one.
Oh man,
Jesse will win. That is funny, man.
Those are crazy movies, though. Jordan Peele, like you said, like there's no way they don't tell you straight up what's going on.
Yeah.
People has a karmic law. They actually have to tell you some of the plans they do, so we're not completely ignorant. That's part
what's funny is he made another movie. What was it? It was Look Up or Don't Look or
Don't Look
something.
Up.
What is it?
What you're talking about.
Which one is it?
Now you're talking about the UFO movie where the UFO is alive. It's like a live being.
Yeah.
It's called I don't know, but it's about a UFO in a small
Yeah, what
town.
is it called? Someone look it up. Let's go. Got a phone?
I'm gonna look it up. Hold on. Who's it by again?
Is it Dope or is it
Yes, Dope.
Is it Dope?
Oh, Don't Look Up.
No.
I don't think it was Don't Look Up. That's the one with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh,
Don't Look Up. That was another Weird one, man.
called...
Nope.
Nope. Not dope.
Nope.
So funny. I'm like, yeah, it's dope. Because that makes sense.
I know.
Yeah.
I thought they were like looking at the alien. They're like, dope. No, that movie was trippy too, man. I like that one. That one was good. That one was
I
was
like
good.
that a lot.
But what
He's
the
got all
heck,
these
dude? I mean,
twists.
he does, because he leads, or at least the movie leads you, I guess maybe one way, and then you're flipped towards the maybe second half of the second half. You know what I'm saying? But
I think he's giving you like
clues, maybe.
insights
Yeah.
on what's
Well,
going
what's funny
on.
is
Like,
like in that movie, right? Like the whole movie, like we thought it was a flying saucer. The whole movie, we thought that was a flying saucer. The whole movie.
pretty much.
But it was a monster.
Yeah.
We were like,
Yeah.
what? But it was a monster that was
Creepy.
like organic and like inorganic at the same time. It looked like a damn...
maybe it was made, like maybe it was created.
Dude.
Maybe that's what they're telling us.
Or maybe it was created and then given conscious. Like it was just, and then it just went rogue. An AI mishap. Right?
Don't give them
I mean,
ideas,
they
man.
could be like, if we're talking about clones, I mean, like, the best way to like build an army, if you're thinking about it, is to create
The clone army.
clones and then
Star
download AI into them, right? Like, and then their AI
Hollywood
just
strikes
conscious.
again. Everything
Right.
we're talking about can be related to a movie. Every
Why
single
is that
thing.
though? That's the trippiest thing. That's the trippiest part
The
of this
karmic
life.
laws. He's telling you. Dude,
No,
No,
I
sure,
said this-
sure. But it's the trippiest part of this life, isn't it? It's making you like
What, Hollywood?
really question reality. Like, yeah, especially with the Simpsons stuff. I mean, there's some things that you can say were false, predictions, whatever. But
Well,
but there's
a lot of
there's too many. There's not a lot. There's just too
Think
much.
about it
Bro.
though. They have
I mean,
humans working for them, being their eyes and ears, and they can go to the past, present, and future. There's such thing as time travel, and they know things that will happen, have happened, and are currently happening. And they have a lot of demons who can transcend time as well, too. Or there's a lot.
Transdimensional.
It gets deep.
I heard that term the other day.
Transdimensional,
I started looking it up and everything.
Yeah.
Started looking up the dimensions and things. And what's
Time
very
isn't beginning to
very
end.
it's very interesting is like
crazy.
you'll see something like you'll see something, I don't know, don't quote me on this, paraphrasing the hell out of this, but I think like even like the Bible will say something like there's 7 heavens or something, and there's 7 colors to the rainbow, and when you're thinking
Roy
of
B. Jiv.
when you're thinking of the dimensions, like how they're set up, maybe that's why we see blue above us. I mean, there's a scientific whatever like understanding behind it, but what if you're looking above, right? But like
Right,
that's the
right.
first heaven. And then when you're talking about it, the stars have different colors, and they have different colors because of where they're positioned.
Reflecting.
You know what I'm saying? Or now when I mean position, it could be distance related, but that just means it's just further in a different dimension. And the colors follow the rainbow pattern. Like, say if you're looking at the first color in the rainbow, blue, and it works its way up, it correlates with the stars.
I can only see so far and see so much color
in correlation with distance. You know what I'm trying to say?
Right. Yeah. And then I think there's actually UFOs and stuff like that above the clouds and cloaked, but also some that we can't see because of our human eye can't see it because it's on that different plane. But I believe that once the spirit realm, the veil is dropped and God drops all that, then it's just going to be like, and people are going to have heart attacks.
I've seen cloaked. I've seen cloaked
I have
flying
too.
vehicles.
And then the circular disc in the sky,
So
that kind of
trippy.
looks cloud-like, and it's all over, especially here in Florida.
Ooh.
And then you got the weatherman trying to explain it away, like, "Oh, it's this nimbus cloud has blah 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 blah." I'm like, "Get the heck out of here,
Nah.
bro!" Like,
I learned,
you know,
hey, bro,
like-
I learned clouds in 5th grade, dog. That is not a
right.
nimbus.
Exactly, dog. And they cloud seed like crazy too. I'm like, bro, you ever notice like how it just got progressively worse? Like as a kid, it wasn't as bad as a kid. I felt like we had more clear skies, but now it's just like cloud preceding this and that.
I don't
It's just
trust
all-
my, because I was a kid through the 90s. I
Yeah.
was born in 92. and I don't trust my memory to do that. I know
Right.
that cloud seeding was disclosed in the 70s. I don't know if it was
Yeah.
disclosed in the 70s, but that's when they started cloud seeding, was in the 70s. That's when it was like created. And I think, it's just a form of propelling whatever they want into the atmosphere. So it's not just one, it's not just one kind of chemical. There's multiple different kinds of cloud seeding,
And different
That's my
types of
personal opinion.
uses.
I mean, you'll
Yeah, there's
even
different type of uses.
Okay,
They're
so
trying
here
to hide
there's
UFOs as well.
I just saw an article the other day. It's on Google, and it's San Francisco's, probably the Air Force, but in San Francisco, they're spraying salt crystals into the air, to, I believe, reflect light. And they're saying that the clouds may, in the article they state, clouds may become too bright to even look at in this area. And I'm like, that's so weird that they just come out with that.
Like, why do they even need to do that, though? There's no, like,
That's
I'm
the
pretty sure
thing.
God knew what he was doing when he created the earth and everybody.
It's the consent. It goes to the karmic laws and the consent thing. Like, they have to tell you kind of what they're doing in a way.
Yeah, I don't consent to that crap.
Dude, me and
there's
Stevie
just
were
nothing
talking about
that they
this.
can't control,
Right.
Oh,
Nothing's too far out of their grasp. Is where I stand, with certain things.
Their day's coming.
With everything, actually.
Okay, speaking of the atmosphere, another article I saw on Google yesterday, and I laugh every time I see it every few months, about Apophis. Apophis, the asteroid that is 375 meters long, and it's named after the Egyptian god of chaos, mind you. Some more pagan stuff. So that is supposed to be getting about 32,000 kilometers from Earth, which is a little bit closer than some of our satellites that we have. So this thing is supposed to get real close to us, and it's so funny because every few months, it's like they just tell us it's getting closer and closer and closer and closer, because I remember reading an article, and I think Wikipedia, it's probably still on Wikipedia. Wikipedia states that it's not going to be anywhere near 32. It's like hundreds of thousands of kilometers away. Not 30. So now it's closer. So I'll have to.
Now, isn't it going to be even closer by 2029 or something like that? I think 2029 was.
Well, that's my bad. That's what they say. So 2029, it's supposed to pass by at about 32,000 kilometers. So my bad, I said that. So, but
don't they always change it?
That's my point. I think they always change it.
Changing the goal marker. Yeah.
It's just a remote controlled comet, and they're like, "Hey,
right?
Yeah, we didn't move it this way."
I think it might hit.
That's a stretch.
I think it might hit, and I think that's what all the bunkers are for, and everybody talks about the bunkers.
Oh, you know what's funny though? Didn't NASA do something? Didn't they propel some sort of vehicle into an asteroid not too long ago?
Yeah, SpaceX did that, didn't they? They did this program called the DART program.
Work for NASA anyway.
Right,
SpaceX is their own little corporation, but they are under NASA.
Same stuff.
Same stuff.
Yeah, it's the DART program.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow. Okay, so that's meant to propel these comets or asteroids in a different direction, or just knock them off their path just a little bit, so that over time, it's kind of like the movie Armageddon with Bruce Willis. It's like they just needed to blow it up right here before it got to this point, and then the trajectory would.
It's as simple as I feel like it's just Elon Musk's idea. He's like, just send a satellite into this.
Very questionable guy, dude. I get more questionable with him as the day goes on. I don't know, dude. Well, there was a
I don't think he's human. But
well, his what was his ex-wife?
His ex-wife is based out music.
Isn't a cultist or something, or is Oh, she's got music. Yeah. Oh, I have no idea. Oh, she's a music. I don't know anything about this girl, dude.
Yeah, so Grimes is
I just know she looks very gothic-y.
She started in a cult, and that's how she was propelled into her music career.
Oh, wow, damn.
Yeah, and I can't remember her cult's name, but it's so ridiculous. She was young too. Oh yeah, she was in a cult, and I remember Nardwuar. If you look up, you can look up on YouTube. Go on YouTube and look up Nardwuar interviews Grimes. And she's like,
Oh my
dude,
god.
she's like literally like 14 or to 16.
Oh my
And
god.
Oh,
Nardwar
jeez.
interviews her, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm in a cult, and my cult does this. It's a lot of paperwork, and
What?
Oh,
yep."
wow.
So
Oh man, I'm looking that up right now.
just look at her though. Elon's like, you're like, this is Elon's wife, and she's like got black lipstick on, 6 different
Yeah.
piercings, black hair, black gloves, black mesh
Well, when he was
gloves.
with her,
My
I
man's
think
got taste,
when he
though.
went to the Met Gala, I think one year for Halloween he wore like a devil outfit or something. Elon
Yeah,
did.
he did.
And
the
then for the
stuff.
Met Gala, I think he also wore like a white suit that was showing transparent, the all-seeing eye, and the Latin saying, that's on the back of the dollar bill. It was on the back of his suit. You have to look it up. I can't explain it. You got to look it up. You got to see it, because I don't really know how to explain it. I'll try and
I know what you're talking about.
show it. But I thought it was like, I thought that's weird. But he is like a trolly guy, so I mean,
Yeah,
it's just weird still.
I mean, I don't trust any of these people who make it in the limelight, to be honest with you, because 99% of them are Satanists, just either low key or high key. I mean, I'm sure God puts Christians in these industries that can shine, God to people and stuff like that. But it's just like, I've been in the industry, like not super into it, but I've been at like to where you could almost get signed level. And I feel like I wasn't signed because I wasn't about all the agendas they were doing. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so this is a picture of him at the Met Gala wearing this suit.
Yeah,
now my camera
with
probably
Grimes.
With Grimes,
Yeah.
right? That's her.
Yeah.
I mean, focus already, dude. Jeez. Anyways, and on the back of his suit, it says that saying, what is it? Otis Norm, something. I don't know. Novus Ortum or something.
What's on the dollar bill or something like that?
Yeah.
Order out of chaos.
Order out of chaos. So.
Did you find that Nardwar interview?
Weird.
Yeah, dude. It looks pretty gnarly.
Look how young she is. She doesn't have any makeup on. She probably looks like she's 14.
Yeah, real talk.
So disturbing.
Got green hair. Yeah.
This stuff has been going on for a long time. A long time. Okay, so now we got that. I wanted to talk about Blue Cottrell real quick. So this goes back to the hip hop industry, if that's okay. If I can just spill the beans on this real quick, if you guys don't mind.
On it.
Okay, so Beyonce. Okay, Jay-Z and Beyonce, they've been under heat for a minute now. Like the Diddy thing happened. Everybody's like, Jay-Z's next. Well, Jay-Z had a mistress. Her name was Blue Cottrell. And during the beginning of Jay-Z and Beyonce's relationship, Blue Cottrell was murdered. Okay? And Blue Cottrell was a woman. She had a relationship before Beyonce with Jay-Z, and she was also an R&B kind of artist like Beyonce's group Destiny Child. Like she had that same kind of vibe going on, and a lot of people say
was she ritually murdered?
So was she what?
Ritually murdered?
You said what? Ritually?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe. But her Beyonce kind of tells you in her new song how she killed her. her new song is called Daughters, and she goes into like and kind of in detail of certain details of the murder, of how she murdered this lady or was a part of the murder.
Isn't that so funny that you could be like giving a confession over a song but not get in trouble?
A lot of people,
not a confession, but
So this goes back to the blackmailing thing and the control. It's like, okay, Beyonce, now it's time to tell your story because we need this publicity for whatever reason. That's how I look at it. But it's another weird part of this whole situation is they named their daughter Blue Ivy.
Oh, wow.
Blue Ivy.
Their daughter, Jay-Z and Beyonce's daughter, is named Blue Ivy. So the conspiracy theory that is going around right now in the hip-hop community is that Jay-Z murdered this lady is what everybody's been thinking. But now people are going to start saying, and people are starting to say that Beyonce actually murdered her, and Jay-Z's covering up for it. But why would you name your... See, this is where the ritual stuff comes in. Why would you name your daughter after... Did you feel bad she was murdered? Were you guys real close?
Maybe,
just...
maybe they put her soul into that body.
Maybe they put her soul into their daughter's body.
Transferring, you know what I'm saying?
Tripping me out, bro.
I wouldn't,
I know, right?
Wouldn't doubt it.
Just a thought. Just a thought. Because they can repeatedly put people's soul consciousness into other bodies and keep repeating the process until the cows come home. So until Jesus comes back and wipes it out. But you know.
How disturbing.
Yeah.
Golly.
That would be weird, bro. Oh my gosh, that would be weird. Yeah. Yeah. And I've heard of actually people on podcasts before. I listened to the, Tony Merkel's show, the Confessional Podcast, and he had a person on there talking about how he got put in like these 20 and back programs, or they got put in these areas where they're like farming human beings.
Oh yeah,
and
I've heard about this.
They put their soul consciousness into another avatar over and over and over. They keep killing them and then putting them back into a different person, and then putting them back, and it's just constant.
Avatar.
Yeah, Avatar. They have avatars that are...
Well, Avatar actually, like that term, I think goes back to the Hindu religion too as well. And I think it's it goes through that whole... I've seen someone connect the dots with that, and I was just like,
oh man,
let me pick up my brain, please.
Right. And I think what people get on reincarnation from is actually people's soul consciousness just getting transferred to another body. Like, that's what I think. But I don't know. That's just
it's trippy. Yeah. It's a trippy topic to talk about.
They have a show about it on Netflix too. It's called something. It's like where they have this disc and they put it in the back of their neck or something. It's called something Cell. I have to look it up. It's on Netflix.
Well, I mean, we're kind of trying to go in that direction. Like, you've got Neuralink that's going under human trials right now, and you've got a guy who's quadriplegic and he's moving things on a screen with his mind. It's kind of wild, but it's like, it's like in a movie that ends up where things just go terribly wrong, but they flash the opening scene of the movie is like a flashback in time of when like things were good and this new thing was coming out and like whatever, and
medically good.
It entered humanity and society, and then it evolutionized into boom, and it goes like 300 years into the future, and it's like, oh, this is what it looks like. Dang, it's all cyberpunk. Everyone's just locked in to the entire global grid, and people are talking to people without even like having to talk. It's crazy stuff.
Neuralink. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. You ever watch Eagle Eye? It's gonna be exactly
when you
like
just said
Eagle
Neuralink,
Eye.
Bro, it made me think of like blockchain. And what if like you're just locked, like everything now you're locked into the blockchain. Like your consciousness is now being recorded, your thoughts, everything's. So instead of your phone being the data collector, the Neuralink is the data collector.
Oh man, yeah.
And they have technology right now. They can actually read your thoughts. They have it right now. You can look it up.
I agree.
Oh, I believe that. Brie even said at one point, she's like, there's no way I just got an ad for this. I literally just thought it about my and it was something about her toenail, about getting something to clip her toenail. And I mean, now, okay, granted, there's cameras on pretty much both sides of this phone, right? So whatever it's looking at, it's going to think, So maybe it was looking at her foot. I don't think so, but she was like, that's trippy, dude. She got an ad right after that for the thing she was thinking.
We know if you pay attention, we know when it started happening. And that was about, I don't want to dial it in because I haven't really researched it, but we know, we all remember when we were like, that's kind of weird. Why am I getting these ads? That was what, during Trump's presidency? Maybe before? Was it before, like 2016?
Maybe just before. I think like people were talking. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Maybe just at that time. Yeah.
It was getting weird.
It was getting weird. Yeah. And that's when a lot of people do say like things started. That's when a lot of people say that things kind of started getting more weird was around 2016, which was like the end of Obama's reign, and like
I'm sticking to my Antichrist theory.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm sticking to it, and I don't care.
That's trippy.
So I think that.
Oh no, he thinks it's Trump, dude.
I think Donald Trump might get in office next.
I think he's gonna. I think he's gonna try to get in office, and Biden will still try to run, but they'll both get one. Both of them will have something happen to them. Trump will get. I had a dream that, in my dream, guys, allegedly. So that he got shot in the head. He got shot in the head.
That's my thing.
But lived. Yeah.
That's my thing.
And
that's my thing.
Biden
that's my theory.
Knocked out. Really? Oh wow.
That's
I
my
had a dream
theory
about that before any of this. That's crazy, bro.
That's my theory. So my theory is that
lived.
Donald Trump. Yeah. So my theory is that Donald Trump gets shot. I didn't say where, but Donald Trump gets shot, goes to the hospital. Nobody knows nothing about him, but he has a miraculous recover, and then everybody starts praising him like.
Yeah, like
all
he's a
too
god.
much. Yes.
Yeah.
All too much.
Well,
and then he leads. And then he leads us all.
Yeah. You know what's kind of crazy is that that whole plot follows the same pagan religion trail practice that has been going on for thousands of years, man, since Babylon, and it's the same apotheosis of George Washington. It's the same dying, resurrecting as a god.
That's
as something.
It's
the same.
Dude.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing about the myth of Osiris. It's the same thing about Nimrod, right? The very first king of the world. Like, and it's funny that like it's almost like it's the actual one hasn't happened yet, but it's almost like this death and resurrection ritual has been trying to. It's been they're mimicking, practicing for it,
mocking, mimicking.
and it's kind of like when it does happen and and everyone marvels, right? Like the whole world marvels, like they're just like everyone's like submitting to this, right? At that point, but. Wow, how trippy. Imagine half his head got blown off.
And he's just fine.
And it comes out and it's like,
Okay, well let's just put it this way. When did Jesus how long did it take for Jesus he was crucified? And then when did he come out of the tomb? 3 days?
3 days,
Just
yeah.
3 days. So
it could be mocked.
My theory.
It's going to be 3 days. Yeah, it'll be 3 days. I could see it being I can see it being mocked in that way, yeah, for sure. Mock meaning repeat, yeah, like done like
theory.
So.
It's just maybe it was given to me by God. Maybe it was, but it says everywhere. It says, I mean, this is ancient scripture.
Yeah,
it's everything under the sun has already been done and will be done.
Yeah. And it's the same. Seems like it's the same. Yeah, it's just different tools and technology and advancements and stuff, but it's the same.
And I believe
human
Obama's
nature.
Still running the show. Biden's obviously not. I think he's actually running the show, and he's head of the UN right now. That's what I think. But that's just another theory that I have. But
no doubt.
Isn't it wild too that the United Nations in New York, that I think the address to that. Let me see if I can pull it up here. I think the numerical is 666. I can be wrong, but I think it is that. But go ahead.
What is 666? Oh, I just wanted to say that my personal opinion on Obama, it's a strong opinion, is that he's just like one of the head chairman, the head PR guy for Skull and Bones. The head PR.
Absolutely. Yeah, I believe that, and I believe he's the head of the UN too as well, and he will lead a lot of these New World Order soldiers, these blue helmets.
I could see that.
The war path.
Exactly. I could totally see that, and it all ties into one. It's like, oh well, you just said he's the head of Skull and Bones. Well, guess what, buddy? The Bushes ran
also
that.
The head of this.
Yeah, the Bushes ran that, and they're related through the Hinckleys. So if you don't know who the Hinckleys are, look them up.
Yeah, every president is blood related to every other president. Blood related, even Obama, dude. So
I heard. So you know what I heard? I heard there was it's almost like they tried to scrub it away. But I heard that Trump was the only one that wasn't related. And now I'm hearing, the last couple of years, that Trump is related. and I haven't really dove super deep into that. I kind of just come to a point where
Think
I'm
of
like,
his name, Trump.
yeah,
Trump, a Trump card. He's playing the Trump card.
mm,
It's a Joker card. Bro, they're
mm.
gonna deceive people, man. He's like the, and also Trump means like the what was it? It was like
So
something else.
Trump
Isn't he?
Trump resembles trumpet, and a trumpet resembles little horn. And so in the Bible, the Antichrist is resembled as a little horn. So that's kind of weird. That is weird too. That's kind of trippy.
Keep your head on a swivel, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, for real. For real. But to be honest with you guys, I hope the world does not end tomorrow. I hope World War III is pushed back at least till I am old, and I just to the point
And
where
your
I just
children
don't give
can
a crap
live, yeah.
anymore. Yeah,
All I care about is I have a child on the way. So
I've got
Yeah,
multiple
me too.
underground bases that are connected through tunnel systems. We're all good. I did it for 40. Took me 40 years to build this place, and it's just like it's a condemned area, bro, where like if you come in, you ain't getting out, bro.
Oh, man.
So, but I do apologize, guys. I do have to cut the chase. Get out of here. I did have fun. This was a cool show. We did touch on a lot of fun things to talk about, and it seems that reality is going to keep feeding us more topics. But until the next time, we thank you all for joining in. Taylor, thanks for collabing with us today. Jesse, my man, thank you. Louis, we love you, and we will get you next time. And if everyone could just please go ahead, follow our socials. You can find us on YouTube. That's our priority at the moment. And thank you to Punk Farm for
let me plug my. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead. No, I'm pretty much. Yeah, I'm good.
To Punk Farm. We're still on there. Shout out to Anti-Hero Podcast. Tyler, you're killing it right now. There's like almost 40,000 subscribers. Jeez, dude, blowing up quick.
Wow,
blowing
good for
up
him.
Quick, man. I just wanted to I wanted to plug mine. I never plugged mine for Jesse T baby on YouTube. Jesse with the TEE baby on YouTube. Check me out. I talk a lot about UFC stuff, this stuff, all sorts of stuff.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep. All right, everyone, and have a good night.
Take care, guys. It's been